Hi, I'm Sarah, and welcome to Please Let This Get This Video idea out of my head before I go insane. Today I'm going to be talking about things that I personally find attractive on people that they might feel self-conscious about. I will be knitting throughout this video. Yes, it is a problem. Yes, I have a video about how much it's a problem. And right at the start, I am bisexual, so people of all genders, please get cozy, bring some of your vulnerable insecurities, and let me use my absolute horny pervert desires to make you feel better about yourself. Number one is big noses. I love big noses, and this is a gender non-specific one. Big noses on men, big noses on women, big noses on non-binary people. It does not matter what your gender presentation is. And it's also something that I quite often don't know, quite often don't notice. So I'll look at someone's face and I'll be like, God, they're so attractive. And then it's like later on I realise it's like, it's probably because I got a massive nose. Yeah, don't know why, don't know where that's come from. And that can be like the long, big straight noses, but also the ones with the curves, the ones with the big curves, and the one that is sometimes known as like the Iranian nose. Come on then, puppy. Come on. Come say hi. Hello. I have a big nose. I have a big yawn. Okay. Yeah. So, big noses on anybody, and it's the nose that's sometimes known as like the Iranian nose, which makes me so sad that people like to get it surgically removed from existence. And the same with like big noses in general. People are like, oh, you get them reduced, get the bumps taken out. No. I personally find it really attractive. So if you are watching this video and you're considering getting a nose job and you're like, oh, no one's going to like me with my big nose. Me personally, I will. I will find that attractive. That will be an attractive feature to me. And maybe other people in the world, I can't talk for that, but definitely me. The next, I was trying to work out if I could like give examples of people, but because I don't notice it so much, it's just like I have one real person life example, and I don't know that she would consent to be in this kind of video, so I won't mention. The next one is crooked teeth. I like crooked teeth. I find that so cute. There is something like really nice about it. This is one of the things that I do usually notice, and honestly, I think Kirsten Dunst is the person that we have to blame for starting this. Because I don't know, it's just I remember watching it and thinking like she's got such a like wonderful smile, but like not just pretty, but like really sexy, and there's something really nice about it. And I think it's that like instead of having that like curve at the front, she's got quite like a flat profile across the front of her teeth, which means that the canines then kind of stick out almost like a bit of a corner. Oh, it's something so great. I think it's why I find her attractive. Like obviously she's an attractive woman, like anyway, Hollywood, but yes, she's fucking great, and I think it is the wonky teeth. But it is also true for real life people, and it is true for men, and it is true for women, and oh my gosh, I really like it. Not necessarily like stained teeth or missing teeth or anything like that. Missing teeth doesn't do it for me, although my partner does have like a missing tooth, and I find that like a little bit attractive because it's like, oh, I've married a pirate. But no, mostly it is just like wonky teeth. I'll notice that I'm looking at somebody and that I find them like quite cute with it as well, and it's like, it's because you've got wonky teeth. It's because you got like the slight little buck teeth. Amy from Sex Education, definitely. I should probably mention some men as well. Whatever, they don't need a look in. The like snaggle tooth, as it was described on America's Next Top Model, for the woman that had like the one that's kind of sticking out like that. Enjoy that. Ugh. So if you never had braces as a teenager and you feel like all weird about your wonky teeth, and like they're not causing you pain, but you're like, oh, no one's gonna find it attractive. I find it attractive. Do what you want for yourself. I don't feel as sad about people getting their wonky teeth fixed, because I think there's something very functional about getting their like big noses adjusted. Make the changes that you need to be comfortable and like have the practical chewing actions and things. But if it's medically not a problem and the only issue it's giving you is aesthetic, know that I personally will find it attractive regardless of your gendered presentation, particularly in a slightly cute way. and maybe other people in the world too, but I don't know. But me personally, I'm into it. The next thing, this one is gender specific and it's body hair. But I love hairy men. Just yes, please. And there's no upper limit. So I like chest hair. I like arm hair, beards, head hair, like legs, even bum hair. Yeah, I like a hairy bum. Yeah. Just specifically on guys and anybody that is like very masculine presentation. If I'm attracted to the part of you that's very masculine, then I'm going to really enjoy hairy bodies. I had some like adults in my life when I was growing up, who had like chest hair that would be like visible out of the collars of their shirts, and one person who very impressively had it like out of the collar of his t-shirt, which I thought was like very exciting in a I'm kind of too young to find this attractive, and also we're in the wrong context, and it would be inappropriate, but like it was something that I really like noticed and kind of fixated in on. So maybe it's your fault. But again, I haven't had consent to share anything about them in the video, so I won't. But yeah, there's no upper limit to it either. I had a, let's say, instructor, like a sports instructor, who I saw like changing his shirt, and he didn't have like beard hair, neck hair, chest hair, and like arm hair. He lifted his arm up at one point, and like his covering of body hair was so constant, like so consistent across his whole torso, that the hair just changed direction. It was just like a crown of like head hair. Coming back out. No, no. It was just like a crown. It just changed direction, full like Wookiee. And I remember thinking about how absolutely amazing and great that was. For like body hair on women, I find it very neutral. So I find a shaved armpit particularly sexy, and I think that's because when I was younger and looking up at beautiful women and not knowing that I was bisexual, like the older women that had gone through puberty tended to shave their armpits, and it was like it was an indication of how they were like maturing, both that they had grown armpit hair and then that they had also shaved it, so it kind of went alongside the breasts and the very obvious femininity that was coming out. But yeah, all body hair on women I find very neutral, like not particularly sexy, not particularly unsexy, and a shaved armpit I find very sexy, on women particularly. I guess I don't know that I've really seen many shaved armpits on men. TBC, or non-binary folks, I suppose. And you've yet to meet anyone with one shaved armpit, so someone start that trend and we'll see how I feel about it personally. Moving on. The next one, now we've had one that is man specific, just to go to one that is woman specific, and that is a mum tum. Oh, it's something that so many women feel so self-conscious about, and I enjoy a mum tum. I think it is so sexy. I find it such a like nice part of the like curvy shape of women. So I'm somebody that like torso wise I'm quite like stereotypically slender and not like hideous levels of like heroin chic stuff, but that kind of popular early 2000s crop top low rise jeans with like the kind of a little bit of definition on the side. It tends to be how I've looked from that era until now. But because we don't see those kinds of like body so much in media, and maybe now we will, it wasn't until I started having like sex with women that I started to see more like Venus, like Renaissance-y type curvy bodies. And there's like a thing where you've got like below the breasts, and then like you come in on the waist and then you come out, and the shaping is so specific on like bigger people, and the way that it makes the skin softer, the way that it kind of flattens against, and then like you get that roundness in the shape of the belly button. It's like there's something so specific to like bigger curvier women that kind of when it comes to the stomach that is just amazing. And I think it's because it's not me, like, so I'm not used to seeing it, and like obviously as well we're not used to seeing the media, so like I only see it in like sexy context where women have taken their clothes off in front of me. So that's really exciting. And there's something about like that slight overhang, um, and it's like we have like the kind of pubic mound there, and then like there's that little bit of a fold over of the stomach where it comes down, and you've got that curve. And particularly on one of my friends, I'm not going to mention anybody's real names unless they're a celebrity. And my friends, where we were in a sexy situation, and she'd taken her clothes off, and because she was sat up, her mum tum was like covering her vulva a little bit, so there was this extra additional layer because like with male genitals they're all like on the front, so they're quite like accessible, but with female genitals everything's sort of more underneath and more hidden, and this just provided that extra layer of like hidden, like something else to move past and to get to, and it felt like there was something extra exciting about being able to get to and interact with her vulva, that there was an extra like layer of stuff to go past, like another curtain, and it just it was so sexy, it was so forbidden in a way. And I think as well, like because she's a mother, so like it was a mum tum um, that she'd had for sort of quite a few years. The kids were in their early teens at this point. So yeah, that extra like level of forbidden and kind of like, ooh, I shouldn't be doing this. It's so naughty. It's so taboo. Ooh, society wouldn't like it. I should be a woman only having sex with men. So yeah, all of that just kind of really combined to be absolutely amazing. And I think that's like part of why I find it so sexy on other people now, is because I had that amazing experience with her. Um, but yeah, that kind of like that slight swoop, that slight overhang, that slight sort of mum tum. I just find it to be like a really amazing extra enhancing feature. And I thought, God, there are so many women that I meet in the world that find it like their least attractive feature, the thing that they always want to hide and like work really hard to hide. But actually, I find it really cool, and I've also been quite enjoying seeing a little bit of that sort of stomach in like a pencil skirt. So when you don't necessarily see like the overhang part, but you see that swell. I guess maybe this is a whole separate point, but I don't know. It's my video, whatever. But yeah, when you have like that, so you don't necessarily have like the flat across from a pencil skirt, but you get that like that swell of the stomach. A little bit like when you have an avocado and you have the avocado stone like sticking out. It kind of looks like that, and just oh yeah, really enjoy it. Really enjoying seeing the mature woman aspect of people as opposed to that like really slender kind of youth side of things. So if you have a mum time and you're feeling self conscious about it, know that I personally find it attractive, and very much like having had that sexy experience with my friend, it's entirely possible that somebody that has looked at you, found you attractive for other reasons, and then like found you sexy with your clothes off, will find that particular part of you sexy because it is a part of you, and then will also take that on to any kind of future partners if that is a thing that happens. So entirely possible that my one specific pal has made me slightly horny for the mum tum, and also that that is not me specific. God, it might be. What if all of these are me specific? No one else likes big noses and wonky teeth and mum tums. Whatever. I personally will find it more attractive than it not being there. And the last one, I think it's the last one. I think this was all on my list. God, I've been thinking about this in the car for like months. Of like, I should really make that video. Is slightly sagging breasts. I was talking to people about, another one for the ladies. I was talking to people that are sexually attracted to women at an event that I was at. Just like coincidentally, my mates, not just like randomers. And I was saying, like, what's the best type of breasts? And someone said they really like the super small and like kind of perky ones. And I was like, oh, I like mine. Someone else said like any that I'm allowed to touch, and it was like, friend, that is a given. But my favourite type of breast is a kind of around a D cup sort of size, with like a fullness but a little bit of a sag, a little bit where it's folded over, kind of similar to the mum tum. God, they can go together, and that's super great. Where they just I'm thinking about someone else now. Where like you've got that kind of like flat there, and then like the breasts kind of come in. I think probably in the same place as where they do with mine, but then like they start here and then they just kind of sag and sit a little bit onto the ribs, onto the stomach, and there's just a certain amount of like mobile tissue with it, and fantastic, absolutely great, the best kind of breasts in my opinion. Like all breasts are great. And this is kind of like, what's your favorite chocolate bar? Like, well, they're all pretty good in their own ways, but like, yeah, that is the best kind. Slow, a slightly sagging breast, a slightly saggy mum tum, wonky teeth, big noses, and a hairy man. Just all things I personally find super attractive. And if it is something that you feel self conscious about, and you have watched this video, I hope that it gives you just another perspective. And don't absorb all of the media standards for everything. I don't have a lot of body image issues. I think because I'm mostly fit the conventional type, so I don't have a lot of ways where I can be like, oh, I'm so different to what the magazines say I should be. But one thing that and I'm going to be like personal on it, one thing that I personally felt somewhat self-conscious about, especially like as a teenager, and it's something that I'd mostly gotten over, but it was only recently that I had someone explicitly say that it's their preference, is that I've got the like larger inner labia, where the inner labia on my vulva are bigger than the outer labia. And it's something that I've seen comedians talking about as well before. It's like a hastily packed suitcase. It's kind of like a tongue sticking out, like, whatever. And it was something that I was self-conscious about. And I told my first boyfriend about it. And bless him, he was very good about saying, like, this is absolutely normal. It's totally fine. Just because you haven't seen it in porn doesn't mean that it's weird. And it was something that then like my current partner was also like very kind about, like, this is fine, this is good, this is like, some people have labia that are shaped like this. But it wasn't until recently I was in a spicy club, and somebody was like, oh, I fucking love outies. And I was like, what? And it's like, yeah, when the inner labia are a bit, it's amazing, it gets me so turned on, and I really really love it. And that was the first time I'd ever heard anyone like express that positive opinion. And yeah, that inspired me that much more to make this video, because it is entirely possible that there are people out there that really like slightly sagging breasts, excessive amounts of like body hair, wonky teeth, big noses, and it's just like people not saying it explicitly, and so people with those features, which other people do find attractive, just don't know, and then like sit there feeling self-conscious because we don't all look like Jason Momoa and Margot Robbie. So yeah, that is all that this video is. Just my little piece of horny activism, because if I must be a pervert and find so many people around me sexually attractive and just thrust myself into their presence, as I fantasize about them during really boring meetings or whatever, I thought that may as well be a force for good. So we fit all of the rubles in that dead rat that we possibly can. Have a great day. Catch you later, or maybe the next one will be about crafting again.